So I just saw the new Dan Gilroy film, Velvet Buzzsaw, and it was bad. This is the third film from this director, with the first being Nightcrawler, and the second being Roman J. Israel Esquire, a movie that everybody forgot about already. First film great, second film boring, and third film bad. Not looking too promising here. I'm starting to feel like Nightcrawler was just a fluke. It was simple, contained, exciting, clever, well acted, and despite Velvet Buzzsaw having the same writer, director, and some of the same actors, it has none of those qualities. You can tell Jake Gyllenhaal really tried with this character, but it was very difficult to take seriously. In this film, he plays a gay, but also, I guess, bisexual art critic, so there's many parts in the film where he's acting incredibly flamboyant, but it never feels really consistent and kinda just catches you off guard every time it happens. Every once in a while, his voice and mannerisms would get super exaggerated in a way that's not consistent with how he was acting before. It was just really odd, and I guess it didn't really help the film that every single character is an unlikable asshole, and the film makes it obvious that it's intentional, but it still feels so confused and misguided. The first half of this film feels as though it's trying to be some sort of meta commentary on the art community. It was kind of reminiscent of Neon Demon and Under the Silver Lake, except not only is this film nowhere near as well shot as either of those, but rather than creating an enjoyable semi-alternate reality, this film just kind of beats you over the head with it, and it also forgets to have any interesting goals or conflicts to help the audience stay interested. It's honestly just a bunch of irritating nonsense. The costume design on these characters is obnoxiously over the top. At one point, I mistook a girl's high collar for a neck brace. Every character's name in the film is the goofiest shit you've ever heard. There's a guy named John Don Don, and they say his name about 50 fucking times. One of the artists whose paintings play a very important role in the film is named Deez. Clearly, 59-year-old Dan Gilroy is not well versed enough in internet culture if he doesn't understand why that's laughable. They said the name so often, and there's so many points where it's essentially just setting itself up for a Deez nuts joke. It was pretty funny. And yeah, these choices to make the characters obnoxious and their names sound really weird is obviously intentional, but there's nothing clever or purposeful about it. It's trying so hard to be something with a deeper meaning, but it just doesn't work. So the first half of this film spends all of its time setting up these obnoxious characters, and then I guess the real plot comes in, and it's essentially just a shitty, dumb horror story that you'd find in a Goosebumps book. Oh no, the paintings from this dead guy are actually haunted. Watch out, they'll come to life, they'll get you. As the film goes on, you're just waiting for there to be something more to it, but it never happens. The paintings just kill people one by one, and no one learns anything by the end of the movie. I wish that at least the deaths could have been satisfying, but they weren't. I guess I'm gonna bring up a spoiler warning just to talk about one of the deaths that I found to be particularly stupid. There's your warning. 3, 2, 1. So near the beginning of the film, there's this art installation of some sphere thing that you stick your hand into, and it's supposed to feel really good, and it's this crazy, weird new thing that you can't explain. And as the film went on, I was wondering when they were going to bring it back, considering how much attention they gave it at the beginning. And yep, it only existed so that one of the characters would stick their arm inside and it gets cut off completely and they die. Now at this point, people aren't convinced that there's anything supernatural going on, so the characters just say, yeah, the art installation must have had some sort of malfunction. I'm sorry, what? Did the artist who created this sphere mention anything about installing it with buzzsaws inside it? You'd think the more rational explanation would be, hey, somebody came in and killed her and sawed her fucking arm off. But nope, this sphere art thing totally killed her, and everybody's just fine with that explanation. It was pretty dumb. I think the worst part about this movie is probably the script. The story sucks, the dialogue sucks, the characters suck. It tries to be two different movies at once, and neither of them are successful at what they try to accomplish. It's kind of a waste of time, and I obviously would not recommend it. If you want to see something good on Netflix, check out the Fire Festival documentary. I gave that one a 7 out of 10. I found it to be very interesting and well made. I don't really have much to say about that one, so I'm not giving it its own review, and I'm just kind of sticking it in this one. It was a fascinating character study that gave a lot of information on the Fire Festival disaster that I did not previously know. Check it out. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, Velvet Buzzsaw was bad. Don't see it. I'm giving this one a 3 out of 10. Goodbye.